Hi, I'm just filling up this water bottle because it is so warm. Actually, overall today felt pretty manageable. It was still 31 degrees, but it wasn't as sunny and there was more of a breeze. So it was manageable. I'm just gonna move you. Well, I say that, the truth is I've just seen our freezer's been open. That's not good. There's a lot of ice and that's why it's not closing. Right, that's gonna be a matter for not on camera, I reckon. Okay, whatever. What I was gonna say is that I went to work at just before 8:30 and was in work all day with lovely air conditioning on, and then being the genius that I am, I decided to walk to my second job, which was, it was about a 20-minute walk, and that was when it was very thankfully slightly cloudier and not raining, but like almost raining, and the breeze. And literally as soon as I got to work, more or less, the sun came out again, so I'm so glad. And then at work it was warm, but we did have a fan on, so again it felt more manageable. And now I've just come in and it's very warm in here, although again, not as bad as it has been in past times. And I do think that's because it's been less sunny today, so there's been less sun shining in, but I also think it's probably because the last few days Wayne's been in and playing PlayStation, which I think heats up the room, and today he wasn't, and it definitely feels more manageable. And I've just opened the windows and I'm hoping things will cool down shortly. I'm now just unpacking my bag from work because then I need to do some more work, and it's about 8:15. All my mints fell out. It's about 8:15 and I'm not feeling super hungry yet, so I think I might do an hour now, then heat up my food, and then maybe do the other hour or however long I want to do really, or need to do. I've actually got a lot I want to do, but I've got today, I've got tomorrow afternoon, I've got Sunday all day pretty much. So I'm not so worried, but I think, again, as always, I like to just bulk load my days. And also Wayne's off on Sunday, so it would be nicer to spend the time with him rather than now where he's not home and I may as well do stuff. And tomorrow afternoon as well. Right, I'm gonna keep doing these mints not on camera, and I'm gonna get myself set up to do some work, and I will maybe catch up with you in a bit, but who knows, I'm very warm. Bye! I decided to just work through because I wasn't feeling that hungry until the last little bit, and I was like, I may as well finish up. So it is now 9:50. I did an hour and a half, sorry, my laptop's being loud, as always. And I realised in that last half hour or so, that means I've been working for 13 and a half hours today. I left my house, call it 8:20, just to make it nice, and it's now 9:50. Now, admittedly, I did have, you know, I think a half hour, 45 minutes, I would say, in total of travel time between each job. But still, even with that, it's still over 12 hours. But I don't feel exhausted. I think it helps that it's, you know, various things. I think it helps that some places are air conditioned, and like different bits of the jobs have different like levels of focus needed and work even needed. Like my middle job that I did sort of the second half of the day, there was very little that I actually needed to do. I was mostly just like chatting to the people with me. So yeah, I think it's fine. I'm now having some leftover lasagna, which has been growing on me as the days have gone on. I'm trying to finish it because it is now almost a week old. I think I fixed the freezer as well, which is great. And now I'm going to watch some YouTube and just relax. I do have a list of things I want to do this weekend, including a lot more work, but I have plenty of time this weekend, so I'm not so worried. I am going to leave it here. I don't think I'll see you again tonight, but I'm sure I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Bye! Hi. What a day I've had. I'm exhausted. I don't need to be, but I am. I think it's the heat. I know it's the heat. It is 3:59. I finished work at 3, and work was very chill. Work was, well, on the whole, it was very chill. I've just taken off my boots, hence why I look like this. On the whole, it was very chill, but I've mentioned before that I work a customer-facing job, and that sometimes includes answering phone calls, and sometimes those phone calls aren't the nicest, and usually like that's a shame, it's annoying, whatever, you deal with it as best you can and that's it. Today I had one that was over 20 minutes long, and I probably said about 5 sentences in those 20 minutes, and it was just someone who was, I think they were lonely, to be honest. I think they just needed someone to talk to. I am so hot and my feet are so sore. Anyway, so aside from that, it was very chill at work. I watched a little bit of tennis, I did some work, like other work, and yeah, overall pretty good. So I'm taking my skirt off. I'm trying to take layers off where I can. And then I knew I had a mission for after work. The intention was to go straight from work by bus to my tailor. Weird to say my tailor, but the tailor that I now go to, and then collect the items that I gave a couple of weeks ago, and also drop off another item that is actually from Australia. It's my graduation dress that I have spoken about many a time, and I wanted to go by bus and then drop and try the things on and whatever, and then if I was still within the hour, I wanted to take a bus back towards the shops, do a small-ish shop, just of things we're running low on, and then either get the bus if I was still within the hour or walk home. And I knew I was hoping to be finished by about 4, and then that I would start some more work from 4, hopefully until 6. It is now 4:01, so I'll probably start that work 10 minutes late or something, but I actually did do 20 minutes at home, no, at my other job. It's confusing. So I do actually have 20 minutes less that I need to do, which is nice. But in the end, I was so prepared. I purposely left my graduation dress out all week since my mum gave it to me, because I knew I wanted to bring it with me to work, and I knew I'd forget if I didn't have it out. And I was so prepared. I also brought extra shopping bags because I was like, I don't know how big the shop's gonna be and I just want to be prepared, etc, etc. And then I realised, thankfully I realised this while I was still at work, I realised that I hadn't brought any cash with me and I was going to pay the tailor in cash. So I said to myself, right, I should definitely be able to get home by bus and then also go to the tailor by bus. That's easy. I think that will easily be within the hour. But then getting home, I might need to walk, which like isn't ideal. I really would rather not, but it is what it is. Suffice it to say, everything was so quick and efficient. I got home, I grabbed my cash, I went onto the tailor's, I tried the things on, they were all perfect. Thankfully, they didn't need any alterations further. And then I also very quickly showed her the graduation dress and she said that's an easy fix. So hopefully that would be great. And then I was like, well on time. And there was a bus stop right outside the tailor's house. So I took it and I got to the shop. I did have to walk back from the shop, but honestly, that's okay. And if you're playing along and you're thinking, how's that possible? You've only got home at 4. I did leave work a couple of minutes early. And by the time a bus would come, it would be too late. Now, I am most excited about having my rainbow thing back and hopefully sitting a bit higher so I'm more, hopefully, confident with it. I have a skirt that I actually might choose to wear today, we'll see. And then I also have a dress. The dress still wasn't quite right. She'd done it beautifully, like the back especially, she'd really done a great job because essentially the back was the bit that I wanted to get altered. It was a bit too big, and she's done that perfectly. Really, like, it's amazing. But this bit, the straps, I guess, she did shorten a little, but I think not quite right. Or not, no, sorry, that's not true, not quite enough. But she said that's kind of the style, and if she were to do anything further with it, it wouldn't look cohesive anymore. And I trust her, it's fine. It's still nice enough, it fits me well, it fits me much better than it did. So I don't know, that's a dress that is very much like, I would call it wedding attire, and I haven't really been to any weddings and I don't have any upcoming, but it's nice to know that I have it in my cupboard for when the occasion might arise. And same with the graduation dress, like even if we do get it fitting me, I probably still need to dye it because, as I've said before, because it's bright white, it just looks like a wedding dress. But even if I dye it and even if it fits, it's still very limited occasions where I will wear it. But anyway, I just quickly want to show you my shopping because it really is quite a random assortment. And then I'm gonna have some apple juice and have do some work. First of all, I bought some flowers, but they're on the table for my grandma. Also, like, I'm a bit annoyed about the weather because, again, it's finally a bit cooler. I think it's like 24 degrees, but there is more sun than yesterday at least, and less breeze. And so it just feels as hot, or I don't know, like it's just as bad. Yesterday I walked to work and this morning I walked to work, and yesterday felt so much easier, even though it was 31 degrees and humid and cloudy, but because it was, sorry I burped, because it was cloudy, it was almost like being in the shade, and there was more of a breeze, so it felt so much easier than today. Anyway, I got some milk. Usually milk stays good a few days past its best before date, at least in my experience, but with the heat that we've had, the other day I opened mine, I think the day after the due by date, and I have never been so disgusted by milk in my life. It literally became cheese, and I closed my eyes to pour it down the sink and I still felt like throwing up. It didn't even smell that bad, but just the thought of it was horrendous. So yeah, I've bought some more milk. Then I bought some Biscoff because I didn't have breakfast this morning because I didn't have milk. So I had an apple with Biscoff, and I realized the pot that we have is it's pretty much empty. I do have 2 spares, but again, whenever they're on offer, I buy them because they are expensive, and when they're on offer, it's like a third off. And so I know I get through them. There's the apple juice I'm going to be having right now. I bought some conditioner. Conditioner lasts me a really long time. I very, very rarely have to buy conditioner, but it's finally got to that point. So here we are. And finally some mayonnaise. We had 2 things of mayonnaise, like squeezy ones, and then because they were getting very hard to squeeze, Wayne bought one of these, and then we finished that one and we scraped out the rest of the squeezy ones as well, and now we have no mayonnaise, and I'm Dutch, so I need mayonnaise in the house. And that's it, so actually not crazy at all. And I'm just very happy to have the things I have, because some of these things, like conditioner, I've been seeing it go down and I've known that I have to buy it, and I finally now bought it. And the mayonnaise, I really didn't want to be without. The milk, everything, I'm happy, and I'm so happy to have apple juice. That was a treat. I didn't need that, but I thought I want it. So at 7, I'm going to my grandma's. So plan for the next 3 hours is an hour 40 probably of doing work, and then an hour 20 of hopefully chilling a little bit, maybe watching some YouTube, maybe probably not filming or editing, but that's okay. Maybe watching some more of the tennis, doing the dishes maybe, although again I might do that like tonight or tomorrow. Reading if I can. Putting away the clothes, you know, we'll figure it out. I've actually got quite a list of things I want to do this weekend, and quite a few that are appropriate Shabbat tasks, which obviously I won't film, but hopefully I can get done. But I'm gonna leave it here for now, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you at some point soon. Bye. Hello, it's been a short while. Saturday I wanted to actually speak to you after Shabbat went out, just to say how long Shabbat felt. It is really nice on Fridays having many hours before Shabbat comes in after work, but on Saturdays it's so long, it just drags on. Like I think it went out at 10:15 or something, and we've still got 4 more weeks before it then starts to get earlier again, but it's okay, I shouldn't complain. It was a very chill Shabbat. I don't think I finished my book, but I finished it on Sunday. But I read a bit of my book, which was good. Well, I didn't love the book, but whatever. It was a nice day. And then yesterday, I worked in the morning, which was super chill. In fact, I mostly watched YouTube. And then for the rest of the day, I pretty much just watched the tennis. It was also very chill. Maybe did a little bit of work. Yeah, I think so. But it was overall very, very chill. So a good weekend. And then work today was very busy, but it made the time go so fast. So that was good. And I had a very good journey home. I went to the shops. Wayne's gonna make garlic butter chicken, which I'm excited for. Although not yet, because it's too early. But yeah, I'm feeling in a good mood. The weather has been deceiving today because it's quite grey and cloudy and even windy, I would say, but it's also quite humid, and for the most part it was fine. Like I've said before, at work I have air conditioning and whatever, and honestly I came in and it was so stuffy in the room, so I turned on the air conditioning, and then not too long after I had to switch it off again, and it was kind of just a day of doing that, but yeah, overall it was fine. But then when I left the building, I thought when I go outside I'll put my light jumper on, and it was so warm outside, so I then took it off again. But yeah, journey home was good, and now I am going to do a bit of work, probably watch some tennis, and then, as I said, Wayne's gonna cook, which I'm really looking forward to, and then we'll see what we do for the rest of the evening. But the one other thing I wanted to share for now, actually probably 2 things. Number 1 is about my hair. I thought my hair was gonna be a nightmare today, but I brushed it this morning, and actually it does look short for whatever reason, but it's sitting normally, which is good, and I'm very grateful for that. But the second thing is I've done a different kind of outfit today, and I really like it. This white thing I've never worn to work before, I don't think, but I've done it, and because it does go a little bit low here, I decided to put a vest underneath, and I really like that too. And I've really matched all the jewellery, and this is navy, and my leggings are navy, and I've done it with my new boots. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm gonna see if I can get a full body shot, and then I'll finish up. But this is gonna come back. I like this a lot. It's always so hard to capture me, but ta-da! I hope you get an idea of and the boots especially, yeah, I love it. I'm very happy. Yay! I'll see you soon. Bye! Hello, I am home a bit later than normal, even though I finished very early, but there were tube strikes, so it was a long journey home. But once again, I am a real big fan of what I'm wearing. I have to say, I've worn the same jewellery 2 days in a row, which I did debate doing, but again, it just goes really well with this dress. And I really like it. It makes me very happy. So I'm glad to be wearing it. The tie in my dress has come out a little bit, but I'm going to show you anyway because I do really like the way it looks. Although again, I don't know what it is, but my hair looks really short. Anyway, let me show you and then I'm going to tell you about the rest of the evening. I do wish I had a better full-length mirror, but it's very simple. To be honest, it's more or less the exact same as yesterday, just instead of the white thing I'm wearing this dress. I've got the same leggings and the same vest on and the same jewellery, but it makes me happy. And now I think my plan is to make the shepherd's pie that I've been wanting to make for a while. Our freezer's been getting really full, or has been very full recently, in part because I bought stuff for smoothies and that's taken up some space, and then hugely in part because our local shop has had a 3 for 2 offer on vegetarian things for like a couple of weeks now. I'm not complaining, and so every time I'm like, oh, rather than just buy one, let me buy multiple. But I think I'm gonna use at least definitely 1, maybe 1.5, maybe even 2. I'm thinking 1.5 though of these, so that'll help clear up some space. And also we'll finally be using up the frozen mashed potato, and we will see. We shall see how it works out. And I think I'm also gonna just do some steamed carrots with it. But I'm kind of like, we're definitely not going to eat yet. I don't think Wayne will be home until 8, and I'm not super hungry, but I kind of think I just want to do it, or at least like have it prepared so that I can just stick it in the oven whenever, you know, Wayne's, I don't know, half an hour ready to eat. I don't know. That just feels more relaxing to me than relaxing now and then having to do it and trying to time it right. So that is the plan, and I am just going to make up the way I'm going to do the mince bit, but I will try and film all of it and time-lapse bits. But I think I might make myself a smoothie for now. I have some fresh berries that I got from my grandma on Friday. If they're still good, I will use them up and make a smoothie. If they're not still good, I probably won't have a smoothie, but I would like to use them up, and I do think I'm going to want something between now and, you know, earliest 8 o'clock. And also, I find often when you cook or when you smell cooking smells, you get hungrier. I'm not like super hungry now, although I don't mind having something cold. Oh, that's the other thing. It rained today. Oh, it was so lovely. Not that I got to experience very much of it, although it did rain last night and I loved it. But then today it was like fairly nice outside the whole day, a bit grey, but fine. And then at one point, I think it was around 2:30, I could just sense that it got so dark and I was like, oh, there's a storm coming in. And there was, and it just made me super happy. And there was thunder and lightning, it's getting exciting. I love stormy weather, and then it was dry. Thankfully it was dry when I was heading to the bus, because I ended up having to walk more than I normally do. Well, I always have to walk a fair amount, but it was more this time because of, yes, because of tube strikes. Basically the buses didn't stop, so I just kept walking until I got to a stop that was empty. But thankfully it was dry for all of that, because I didn't bring any like coats or, you know, proper shoes or anything. But then while I was on the bus, oh my gosh, the heavens opened up. It was so lovely. It seems to have stopped again now and it's got a bit lighter, but I love it. So I was gonna say, actually, it feels more like a cozy, you know, hot chocolate or tea kind of night. But actually in the flat, it's quite warm. So I don't think I'm gonna open the windows. I think it's comfortable. It might not be once I start cooking, but I do think it'll be nice to have a cold drink with me. As I say, I'm gonna vlog lots of it, and I will time-lapse bits. So I'm sure I will see you very, very soon. Yay! I've put you very high up because I have my laptop here, but I've made it and I just put my finger into it and it smells, or it tastes so good. Fresh berries, frozen berries, milk and honey with a little bit of water because I needed to loosen the honey because it had crystallized. This is very good. I'm trying to drink just a little bit more because there's a drop left and I want to make sure I get all of it in the glass, and then that can go in the dishwasher, and then I'll start chopping onions and whatever else. Hi, I added flour at the end because I felt like I needed something a bit binding, and I googled a couple of different recipes and all of them said flour, so I did that. Initially when I was going to make this recipe I was going to use a can of tomato, like chopped tomatoes, but the more I've been looking at it the more I think, no, I don't need it. And then a lot of the recipes said tomato passata, which actually I'd been thinking about anyway because we have a tiny little bit left, I thought, and I thought I might just add a little bit of that, but it turns out we used it up yesterday, so that's okay. I think I put too much salt and too much Marmite in this, so I'm just going to try it, but if it tastes okay, then it's done. And I think what I'm going to do, if it is okay and done, is pop it in the oven now because the potatoes are still frozen, and just on a very low heat, but to help defrost the potato, because this is cooked, this doesn't need to be cooked, and then, you know, turn up the heat just at the end to crisp up the potato. Let us see how this tastes. It does look more or less exactly as I want it to, so that's a good start. Kind of feel like there's just not much flavour full stop, which is annoying. When just the onions were in the pan, oh, it smelled so good. That bite had a bit more flavour. I think maybe I just needed more onion and less mince. I would almost even say it needs more salt, which seems almost impossible to me. I think I'm going to leave it as is, and hopefully the potato will help with it, and yeah, hopefully it'll be fine. So now comes the next challenging part, which is plating this up. I will try and film this, but give me a moment. That's what it looks like. It does smell good in my opinion. Wayne did tell me at the end though that I should have put butter on top to make it more crispy and golden brown, but hopefully it's okay. Hello. This actually, like, it looks, I'm much better than I was expecting, to be honest. And it smells really good, which I'm very happy about. Why are you laughing?
You're so little.
It's hot. That burnt my tongue. That was really hot. Yeah, kind of as I said before, it's nice, but I actually feel like it's still lacking flavour. Anyway, I am gonna enjoy the rest of it, and I will talk to you later.